And remember, it's limited seating. You have to sit at the counter. But hey, you know what? You are getting a free show along with your dinner. So why not? Make your reservation for either 6 o'clock or 8 p.m. And that's it for this week. Have a great weekend.
Actually, I never thought at all. I'm sick inside. I'm feeling bad for shit you stopped and stopped. Starting to feel like I'm just dead weight. Or maybe I'm just dead to you. It's no surprise. I did the things I swear I do for you. I'm lonely in my own spare time. I rave between these broken lines. I'm not surprised. I think that I just need some sense of acceptance. Was a friend of mine, but lately she's been on decline. Swears that I shouldn't play the pessimist. I'm constantly trying.
All right, thank you so much, Bearings and Jen. So that song was Dead Weight. So everybody's asking, where can we purchase Baroness Chocolates? It's at a lot of our local restaurant, or a lot of our local stores. Herb and Spice, La Bottega.
We got Ramalotus. We got
Butchers.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Ramalotus too. There you go.
Ramalotus. I mean, they're in the Pharmasaves. They're in Produce Depot, Rito Bakery, Sandy Hill Pet and People, Red Apron, Slater Street Market, the Marcello's downtown, the independent grocers, whether it's Steve's Now Mitchell's or it's Munson's out in Manotick,
nice.
Actually the Manotick Butcher as well. Watson Pharmacies, the Bagel Shop, the Herb and Spices, Your Choice Boutiques. We're in about 100 stores locally, and I think the Ottawa store owners are actually the best people in the world.
I think so too. Have you seen anybody take the chocolate bars and convert them into cakes or other kind of vehicles for eating it?
It's funny. The Daily Grind and a few other restaurants have started using it as a chocolate plate. They break up different flavors and pieces, and they sell it as a dessert item.
Wow.
So that's pretty incredible. I did have a couple of people ask to carry our chocolate or use our chocolate in dessert making for cheesecakes, but I think our costs were just a little high.
Yeah.
You know, being a kosher, organic, fair trade, gluten-free, sustainably grown, Rainforest Alliance, pure Tahitian banana, pure cocoa butter, we have 14 certificates of purity, having fermented our chocolate for 10 days. It's a little more expensive than what most people
That'd
think.
be a hell of a pricey slice of cheesecake.
You know what? It'll blow your brains away. It'd be so good. You'd be dancing. I mean, I did a study where I ate a piece of our chocolate and then I went for a workout, and I found my workout was 50% less exertion.
Wow.
I walked out of the workout like, that was one of the best workouts I ever had, right? So I highly recommend it. If you're going to do a workout, half an hour beforehand, eat a half of 40 grams of a super dark chocolate with nothing in it, and you should find yourself well rewarded.
So thoughts on targeting a specific bar for a pre-workout thing? Or?
Yeah, well, actually, we've invented 3 new bars.
Nice.
One's called Einstein, one's called Albert Schweitzer, and the other one's called Eleanor Roosevelt.
Oh,
and,
I love my lady.
Lovely, amazing people who really represent the best good humor and all the rest. I love Einstein's line, which is, if you're kissing a girl while driving a car, you're not paying attention enough to the kiss. Right? So we pay attention to the chocolate. And these chocolate bars are going to be made with 100% cocoa, 100% pure chocolate, and they should have such an effect on a person's brain and their energy levels that they'll feel blessed for the whole day.
Oh, that's awesome.
And let's just talk a little bit about the quality of the chocolate. You're telling us about Belgium. Like, they know chocolate. And let's hear that story.
Well, basically what we did was we realized that the French, the Belgian, the Swiss, some of these master chocolate makers really had it down pat. They knew how to create a tempered chocolate that had a good snap, a beautiful shine, a rich flavor. But sometimes you had to think there lacked a depth. When you chew a steak, it's a thin steak, it doesn't have the same expression or experience. It changes. So there's no succulence in a thin steak. Well, I found in thin, brittle chocolate a lack of succulence. And so what I started to make was a thicker chocolate. So to do that, I had to add more cocoa fat or blend a little dairy, say 10% dairy to a 72% dark chocolate. So that balance between the tooth, the full mouth flavor and feel, and that essence. And when you walked away, you felt that the chocolate you just tasted is what you really knew chocolate should be. That it was that smooth and full-bodied and flavorful and cocoa without being sugary or bitter or having any stringent flavors, no hidden earthiness or floral tones. I think the worst idea ever has been to put lavender in chocolate. I mean, lavender tastes like soap.
Yeah.
So now you have soapy chocolate, right? We went to take the best chocolate you ever grew up on, the things you loved, and said, how can we make it even better?
Yeah. So did you get input on your chocolate as you were making it from other experts? Or?
Funny enough, most regional experts didn't want to participate, but my wife insisted I find somebody. So she said, before I quit my job, before I take a mortgage out, send my chocolate to the World Chocolate Masters in Europe and get their feedback. Well, I got feedback that was amazing. In fact, a gentleman named Philip Van Clysel, who is one of the World Chocolate Masters, he's head of the jury selection for the World Chocolate Masters. He's been the technical advisor to the world's largest ingredient chocolate manufacturer for 20 years, wrote back to me to say, I don't know where you made your chocolate, but man, it is good. You should have your own chocolate competition. We don't judge chocolate bars, but you might win. And so he and I have become great friends in the last 2 years, and he's really helped me feel confident about my chocolate and sending it out to the marketplace. And since then, I've presented to Loblaws and Metro and Whole Foods, Fortinos and Longos, and all the head buyers have declared me to be the best chocolate in Canada.
Wow!
So they'll be carrying them in the next month or two as well.
Yeah. Are there any other competitions in Ottawa or in Canada that you'll be going into or around the world that you might submit to?
There is a world chocolate competition based on region or country. In Canada, they just had it in November, I believe, or October last year. Funny, I'll give a shout out to Yellowbird Chocolate, who was one of the winners of that contest, so great for them. But they generally don't do chocolates with inclusions, like caramels and things of that nature. They're starting to, but they go for an original bean-to-bar format.
Gotcha.
So old school, and very simple. And most of the contests are about the chocolatier's ability to create some fanciful shaped item that looks like a beautiful dancing ballerina.
Swan.
Or a swan, right?
There's lots of swans.
My chocolate was hyper-focused on making the consumer's mouth dance with joy.
Well,
right?
it definitely does. And you have a variety of delicious tastes, too, in all your chocolate bars. There's a
Which
pretty
one's this?
distinctive
Which one was
flavor
this?
differences.
This was my favorite.
That one's mocha crunchy. That's got coffee, toffee, almonds, sea salt,
Jeez.
and 7 types of chocolate.
That's a gambit.
It's funny, we didn't say the percentage of chocolate because we fold dark, medium, and milk chocolates together. But when you look at that, that's probably a 67%, right? Where our Aya is a 44% with butterscotch that we made in.
That one was awesome.
But, I mean, again, it's pure, even the whole sugars, the rest. So you don't have that fall after you eat a lot of candy.
Yeah.
This chocolate just gives you energy and intelligence. In fact, the better the chocolate, the longer it's fermented, the smarter it has on your body. The effect will be you'll be smarter.
That's good, and that's where all the studies come.
That's it.
There you go.
Well, thank you so much for having us here today.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure, and I learned 100% more chocolate than I've had before.
Yeah.
And so next week, our special guest will be from the OttawaOutdoors.com. So we're going to switch from chocolate to outdoor sports.
Sweet.
I think they go hand in hand.
Yeah, well,
They can.
Well,
Sure.
they will, like you said. You
They
get good
will.
enough chocolate.
And so at the end of the show, we like to go over events for this week. Any major events that you're going to this weekend?
None that come to mind. It's the first year of business, actually coming to the end of our first year. I think I still have to work 24 hours a day for a few more years.
Well, there's an
Yeah.
event. There's an event tonight that's very interesting that I'll be going to. It's called Fuck Up Nights, and it's at Makerspace North, and it's with a lot of entrepreneurs where they where they talk about stories where they fucked up, just so you get a bunch of entrepreneurs together, and it's kind of like a community going, yeah, we've made mistakes, but we all get together. So
They could probably have me as a guest speaker.
You should you should definitely come on. I'll talk to them about that because it's very interesting.
The first year has been quite the learning lesson. Humbling.
And it's whatever. It's the product's incredible, so that's
Thank
how
you.
it's going to work. So that's going to be fun. Railbender Studio turns 1, so they've been through their 1 year as well. So they probably have a lot of learning.
Happy birthday.
Grinder Comedy tomorrow night at the Daily Grind. So maybe a chocolate plate, and then
That sounds
watch
like
some
fantastic.
comedy. So that'll be fun. The Acorn is returning on Saturday night. You got video games live on Sunday night, so I think there's a video game kind of at the NAC. I think a bunch of people are playing video games.
Oh, there you go.
I play euchre and cribbage on video games, so I don't know if that's going to be there. If it is, I'll dominate. And Tuesday at Carleton at the architecture school, there's a showing of Cities of Tomorrow. And they're going to have a panel after that. That's always interesting. That's stuff I like. What about yourself, Miller?
Well, hopefully spring is coming sooner than later, and we got the golf expos on this weekend at the EY Center.
The golf expo?
Yeah.
We're there. We've
Golf
made it.
clap for everyone.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Billy, yet again. And we'll hear one more song from Bearings. Thank you so much, Bearings.
Yeah.
Support your punk rockers in this
Oi,
city.
oi.
And this is called Constant State. And have a great week, everyone. Thank you so much.